This weekend, unplug. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a successful motivational speaker and trusted life coach, Nancy knows how you can live the life you want regardless of the challenges you face. Although she's legally blind, Nancy's mission is to inspire others to overcome obstacles and live life full out. Call in at 800-333-0001 to ask Nancy for advice on topics such as relationships, finances, business, health, and more. Just call 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Hello and welcome to the Living Full Out Show. I am Nancy Solari. So excited to be here with everybody today. So today we're going to be talking about investing in yourself, in your relationships, in your career, all these, in life, like when you go to the bank, right? You got to make a deposit. You got to deposit in yourself. You got to invest in yourself so that you can flourish, evolve, and grow. And so we're going to be talking about that. We're also going to be taking your calls in this segment. That number again is 800-333-0001. And as always, we want to hear from you. So if you're inspired by today's topic or our inspirational guest, Hector Picard, who's coming up next, if something he says inspires you to look at life a bit differently, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to know what those aha moments were, those insights. So go ahead and reach out to us at connect@livingfullout.com. And if you have a story that you'd like to share in terms of one that you feel would be motivational, really be able to educate, inspire our audience, then please share us your story. Again, to that same email, connect@livingfullout.com. We'd love to hear from you. And again, talking about today's topic, investing, we all want to take this hour to really think about in our life, where do we need to put more attention? What aspect of our life, what part of our life may be lacking, may not be getting enough attention? And you want to think about how you can put more focus into that area. For some people, they might be going full speed ahead in their career, yet their relationships are just kind of dormant, just kind of hanging out, not really going anywhere. For others, they are depositing every day in their relationship, and it's almost taken over their life, but yet they're unsatisfied with their career or maybe their own passion and hobbies. So whatever it is, we just want to bring balance to your life. That is our goal today. So we're going to go to the phone lines now and just talk to one of our callers. Hello, welcome to the show.
Hi.
Hello. Hi. Well, absolutely. Thank you for calling in. What can we do to help you today?
So I have these two friends, and they were dating for about a year, and they recently broke up, and I'm having a hard time seeing who I should talk to. If it's okay. I don't really know how to handle the boundaries there because they're both my friends, and I don't know. I feel like I'm betraying one when I'm talking to the other.
Well, let me ask you a question. Were you friends with one of them first, and then you became friends with the other, or were you all friends and then they decided they wanted to start dating, or what was that initial dynamic like?
I was friends with one of them first.
Friends with one of them first. And how long were you friends with that person before you met the other?
I'd say about a year.
About a year. Okay, so that's a good amount of time, but it's still relatively new. Here's the thing about relationships. Don't let anybody tell you, or don't ever feel like you should or shouldn't be friends with somebody. And you can have individual relationships. For example, do you have friends that live in different towns, even different states?
Yes, I do.
Right, and they may know each other, they may not know each other, but you have individual relationships with them. You call them separately. Whenever you see them, you might get together separately. Same goes for when we live in the town we live in. You probably have different groups of friends that you just see independently, right?
Yeah, that's correct.
You're going to do that same thing here. Now, the thing is, in time, time does heal wounds. I really do believe that. And in time, each of them will hopefully go on to find another relationship, maybe even a better fit. Sometimes when we're in the moment, just after a fresh breakup, it's hard to see that because we're still hurt or we're attached to that person or we're wanting them back. But there will be a time that hopefully they're both happier, more happy with another person than they were with each other. Okay. And so maybe at some point you guys can come back full circle and all be in the same environment and it'll be fine. But until that time, I would be friends with both. I wouldn't limit yourself because of their breakup.
Okay. I like that idea. I always felt like really guilty talking to one of them. So I think if I just balance it up and keep the relationship separate, that should make it easier, like you said.
Well, absolutely. And the other thing is, don't overcomplicate the situation. Meaning that sometimes when there's a breakup, that is what a lot of people think about. Who should I be friends with? Where's my loyalty? But you're kind of putting tension into the mix that doesn't need to be there. But I know that you're going to do great and let those relationships flourish. And thank you so much for calling in. I really appreciate it.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So again, she brings up such a great point. It's finding that balance to have friendships, but investing in both people. You don't have to give up on one relationship. You can find a way to grow with both people independently. We're going to go back to the phone lines again. Welcome to the Living Full Out Show.
Hi, Nancy. How are you?
I am great. Nice to be here with you. What's going on?
Actually, I wanted to talk to you about something. I struggle with having a good work-life balance, and I started at a new job almost maybe less than a year ago. So something that I do that I feel is not great is that I work very often. I work about 10 hours a day. Anytime anyone needs my help, I'll go ahead and talk to them about that and help them with anything that they need. So I feel like I'm always at work. I'm glued to my phone because clients can email me at any time, an hour, and I have to respond. My friends and my family, they just basically say I work too much and I'm glued to my life at work, and I just feel like I need more time to myself. I'm not sure what to do.
Well, here's the thing. Your family, I hate to say it, is probably right. Okay? Because here's the thing. Consider your life as a pie where there's different slices of the pie. One slice of that pie is work, and you want to do great at what you do for work. But another slice of a pie is going to be your hobbies. Another slice is your friendships. Another slice is your family. And on and on and on. And so you don't want to give all your attention to the slice of the career pie because life is going to go too quickly. I think a lot of times we take for granted that people will always be there, that we have this unbound amount of time to do whatever we want. And that isn't always the case because obviously the unexpected occurs. Those a lot of times are health issues, could be financial issues. People might move away and are like, oh my gosh, I wish I had seen you more while you lived in my same town. Now you're moving. Well, you don't want to lose out on that time. And at the same time, you don't want to jeopardize your career. I get that. And you want to put attention into your career now so you can make those big leaps and get to where you want to go achievement-wise with that.
Right.
And what I'm curious about, though, is you said that you have to be available all the time to answer emails.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Now, why is that? Now, we're talking all the time. Does that mean at 2 a.m. you have to email someone back?
That'd be correct. My phone is on. The company pays for the phone. We're partnered with Google. And so if a client has any issues at any hour, we have to be on response and respond to them like at a timely hour.
Okay.
So it's very hard for that reason. And that's why a lot of times.
Yeah, so you are paid to be on call. Like you're on call at all the time.
Yes.
Okay. Do you get any days off?
I only get the 2 weeks, 2 weeks every year. But other than that, nobody really wants you to take the time off. It's
Okay.
incredibly hard.
Okay. And the reason why I'm saying that is we just have to deal with what's real. We have to deal with it, right? So what you want to do is manage expectations with your friends and family. Okay? And try to find a way to bring it to their level, their understanding. I want to give you an example. Let's say you have a friend who, or let's say somebody has kids, right? And you're hanging out with them. Well, their kids are unexpected, right? They're on call all the time. They don't know when their kids are going to need them, right? So some ways parents are on call all the time. So there's not a huge difference between you being on call and a parent being on call for their kids. It's similar.
I see that.
You see what I'm saying? So you want to find, so for your friends and family, and you're going to have to find different scenarios for everybody, you want to find a relatable example in their life where they might have that same balance, restriction, challenge that you have, but apply it to them. Maybe it's that they're in school and they have an internship and they have a job and maybe they're not on call, but they're overly committed. You could relate that also to your situation, okay? Just starting to have those conversations. But then you want to make a promise to them. My promise is this. I got 2 weeks and I want to give one of those days to you. I want to give a half a day to you. I know that for 364 days, I'm going to be busy, but I want to give one day to you. See, in life, people just want to feel special. They just want to feel heard. And that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, I think that's actually really great. I'll go ahead and talk with my friends and family, just kind of relate it back to them with a scenario that relates to their life. And I think my life will be so much better from this.
And it's just about being transparent, being honest. The jig is up. Everybody's got the same information. At that point, you're investing in them, but you're also continuing to invest in you. And then everybody wins. Right. Okay? Yeah. But thank you so much for calling in. Of course. And just have a wonderful rest of your day. And I appreciate you calling in.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. All right, we'll be coming back after this break with Hector Picard. You don't want to miss it. We'll be right back.
Hey, what's up? Thinking about you. XOXOXO. Want to snuggle, ... JK. Hit me back. You getting these texts? ? We should hang later. I miss you. Holla at ya, boy. Holla back. Holla back. Holla back. Are you at home? Where are you? What are you doing? OMG. You are making me mad. Are you with your ex? You better text me back. I'm waiting outside your house.
Relentless, aggressive texting is like sending an angry robot to deliver your message. When does the robot become dangerous? Let us know at that'snotcool.com.
That'snotcool.com.
Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hi, I can't come to the phone right now because I'm abusing my children. Not just verbally, but physically. I'll get back to you.
If only child abuse was this easy to recognize. If you even suspect abuse, call Child Help at 1-800-4A-CHILD or visit childhelp.org. We've helped millions of people help millions of children. All calls are anonymous and confidential, so call 1-800-4A-CHILD or visit childhelp.org. Child Help. Trust your instincts. Brought to you by Child Help and the Ad Council.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
In the world of fairy tales, Sleeping Beauty had 3 good fairies to protect her. But in our world, protecting the beauty of the forest is the responsibility of everyone.
Listen well, all of you.
9 out of 10 wildfires are caused by humans and can be prevented.
We'll all pitch in. If humans can do it, so can we.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Log on to SmokeyBear.com to find out what you can do. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. A professional motivational speaker, Nancy can help you overcome obstacles and start living full out. Call in with questions live at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Thank you for joining us today. This is the Living Full Out Show, and I am Nancy Solari, and today we are talking about investing. The importance of investing into our lives, our relationships, our careers, and just really how to determine how much energy to put in any given aspect of our lives. You know, how do you find that balance? Well, and also we have to recognize and realize that life is going to give us these unexpected incidents, accidents, moments. And when that happens, what do? Well, we strive each week to find inspirational guests who demonstrate that exact example. And so today I want to introduce you to Hector Picard. And his story is one that has moments of, I don't know if we want to say, I don't know, I'm just so proud of who he is and all that he's achieved. But then he's going to share with us moments where you're going to look at how you could handle your life a bit differently. And it's being able to handle life, manage life, which is what we're trying to focus on today. So I would like to welcome Hector Picard.
Hey, thank you for having me, Nancy.
Well, so exciting. I am telling you, since the first time I've talked to you, I always had the same feeling, which is, wow, you are a wow man. What you do just amazes me. So I didn't want to tell the listeners quite yet what the wow means, but they will know later. So stay with us into the next segment, everybody. But Hector, you had an accident at 26 that really just changed your life in so many ways. And not for the negative necessarily, but can you share with us about that day? What happened?
Yeah, my responsibility as an apprentice electrician was to remove some equipment from the deactivated transformer. And at the end of the day, I walked between 2 of them. The one on the right was on, the one on the left was off. I made a right turn, climbed up this 2-story structure, and as soon as I made contact with my right arm, 13,000 volts of electricity went through my right side, out my foot. On the way down, I grabbed again, and I got hit again with 13,000 on my left side. So I lost my entire right arm and half my left in that accident.
Hector, what is so amazing about this, and this could happen, I'm not going to say this could happen to anybody, but accidents like this could happen on any job. This was just, unfortunately, a bad decision. I mean, you kind of, you thought one transformer was off and it was on, right? It was just unfortunate.
Correct.
And
Correct.
Sometimes that just happens in life. And I cannot imagine what that pain must have felt like. But were you aware for all of that? Were you aware during the time that you were being zapped with these 13,000 volts? And did you feel yourself fall 2 stories down to the ground?
No, actually, I don't remember any of it. I do remember the song that was playing on the truck radio. It was Guns N' Roses' Live and Let Die. And,
love it.
That's about it. Yeah, that's about
it.
And a couple months later from a coma.
Wow.
So
you fell, and obviously they got you to, they got you to the hospital and all of that. Who told you about what happened?
As soon as I woke up from my month-long coma, my ex-wife at the time, or my wife at the time, explained to me that these amputations had to be performed in order to save my life, and told me what had happened.
Okay, and I'm legally blind, so I'm losing my vision, so I can appreciate loss of some kind. But what is that news like? I mean, for so many people, losing their arms would just be, that's it, I give up.
I didn't feel that way, but at first, it's like, wow, what am I going to do now? How am I going to support my family? I had a 1-year-old daughter at the time, and, what am I going to do for a living? I was concerned about that. But never did I say it's over. I had two choices. It's either die or live, and I was alive, and I was going to try to make the most of it.
And I'm just curious, during that time that you were in the coma, were you aware, I know you're in a coma, but could you hear people? Could you understand at all what was happening during that month time?
Yeah, and between all the hallucinations I was going through, they tell me that subconsciously I pick up everything so every time they came in and gave a diagnosis or evaluation of any kind, they would say it in front of me so that my subconscious would pick up what was going on. And that would cushion the blow the moment I wake up and find out what happened. That was the idea behind that.
And that's interesting because I think so oftentimes we wonder, do people hear when they're in comas? And they do. They do. So after you got out of the hospital, what was your rehabilitation like? What was that process like for you?
It was intense. Inpatient for about 3 months at Health South down in Sunrise, Florida. And, I had to learn how to do everything all over again. I had to humble myself. Like a small child, learn how to tie my shoes, dress myself, feed myself, all these different things that we take for granted. I had to learn how to do them all over again without hands. And it was really tough.
And how does one do that, Hector? How does one do that?
A lot of hard work. The occupational therapist, the physical therapist, they worked with me. They taught me shortcuts and little things I could do until I get my prosthetics, my prosthetic devices. I had to learn how to do them without. So there were little tricks here and there that they taught me.
Well, so what was like a trick? Like, how would you feed yourself without your arms before you got the prosthetic?
Well, my father actually created this device that slipped on the end of what they call the stump, my residual limb. And it had a swivel fork, so you would pick up, and as you're lifting up, the weight would swivel the fork in position to go in your mouth. So that's how I ate early on. So that worked.
And he created that for you. Okay.
Yeah, there was something out there, but not as nice as this one. He made me one. I still have it today.
Wow.
24 years later.
How did you tie your shoes without your arms?
I still don't tie my shoes. Somebody helps me. I can do it with my feet, but it's just so time consuming. I use a lot of elastic, Velcro, you name it, I use it.
I see. And I appreciate you answering those questions because, again, so many of us have our different walks, our different challenges, but I give you so much credit for learning all that over again. Now, did you eventually get prosthetics?
Yes, I did. The first arm or limb that I was fitted for was what they call the hook. It's a body-powered. It works on a cable and a harness and rubber bands. And I could do all kinds of stuff with that. It's been around for decades, that model. But I've been able to pressure clean my roof, paint the walls of my home. I built an addition in my garage using a hook by myself. And I just wanted to show it could be done.
Gotcha. Okay. Again, amazing, because that's a huge learning curve right there. I mean, for me, I have to learn like low vision software and that kind of thing. And for you, you had to learn how to use the hook and the cable system and all of that. You have this accident, obviously changed your life, but you decided to not give up. You decided to press forward. Where does that determination come from?
Well, my mother will tell you that I was a knucklehead, I was hard-headed when I was a kid. I don't take no for an answer. And now after the accident, that didn't change. Everything I do in life is a challenge. So I get excited after accomplishing or overcoming these challenges. So it could be a simple thing from putting a puzzle together that I struggle through, but as soon as I complete it, I know what I did. I know the effort it took to accomplish it, and that's a high. That's something that just keeps me going and looking for something bigger and tougher to accomplish.
So after your accident, were you able to go back to your job in some form, or did you have to kind of recreate yourself, evolve?
Yeah, I had to change careers. Yeah, I was done with electricity. I got my real estate license. I did that for several years. And I was pretty good at it. I stopped doing the bubble burst in the real estate market. So I went into the motivational speaking and different things that I do now.
Well, and one thing that you do now, which blows my mind, and this is definitely going to move us into the next segment, but you do triathlons. And
correct.
I gotta ask you, what got you into that? I mean, was that just something you always wanted to do, or did someone inspire you to get into it?
What happened was that I went through a really tumultuous divorce, something that was really, really bad. It destroyed my life as it was at that moment. I needed to find something therapeutic, a challenge, something to do athletic-wise, to be competitive, and that's what came into my path. Every aspect of it, from the swimming to the biking to the running, which I don't like running, I had to develop a style, I had to modify a bike, I had to do all these different things to accomplish that task.
Amazing. I mean, really amazing. And a triathlon is swimming, biking, and running, right?
Correct.
Okay. First of all, I hate running. This would be a really hard thing for me. But I'm just curious, how do you do that? How do you do any one of those aspects without your arms?
Well, the swimming is on my back, and it's all legs. So when I do a short sprint race, it's all legs. Or if I do an Ironman race, which is a 2.4-mile swim, it's all legs on my back. I rely on the other swimmers next to it to kind of gauge where I'm going. So otherwise, I'll turn sideways to get a visual, or else I'll go off course and then swim more than everybody else. So the bike, I had to modify the original bike. I've had custom-made bikes given to me, and that's what I use now with the electronic shifting. I brake with my knee. I steer by slipping my residual limb. I don't use my prosthetic arms, and I slip it in a cuff on the handlebars, and that's how I steer. And then running, it's about gutting it. It's trying to convince myself that I don't hate it anymore, but that's probably the toughest part.
I get that. Well, my goodness, I want to talk more about this when we come back from the break. So stay with us, Hector. Everybody else, we'll be right back.
Look for the bare necessities.
The bare necessities of healthy living are easier than you think.
You better believe it.
And the food pyramid shows you the way. With just the right amount of exercise and the necessary grains, vegetables, fruits, milk, and meats and beans.
Just the bare necessities of life.
So eat right, be active, and have fun.
Yeah, man.
For your own path to a healthier you, visit mypyramid.gov.
This is really living.
This message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Agriculture and the Ad Council.
Hey, Jack, you got a sec?
Yeah, sure, come on in.
Yeah, I was wondering if you... Jack, your hair's on fire.
Yeah, I know. I just need to finish this sales report, and then I'll probably, let me lie down for a bit. But I'm sure it'll go away.
But the flames are getting bigger. Shouldn't I... Your hair, there's so much fire.
No, I'll be fine. What can I help you with? Oh, dear. Well, at least we know the sprinkler system works.
You wouldn't ignore this. So why ignore the signs of a stroke? If you or someone you know suddenly experiences numbness of the face, arm, or leg, or sudden trouble speaking, seeing, or walking, don't wait to get help. Call 911 right away, because time lost is brain lost. To find out more, visit www.strokeassociation.org or call 1-888-4STROKE. This message brought to you by the American Stroke Association and the Ad Council.
This is a test to find out if you know it all when it comes to children. Name one of the leading killers of U.S. children age 1 to 13. What's the best way to protect children in a car crash? At what age and size should a child start using a booster seat?
Don't assume you know it all when it comes to car seats for your child. Go to safercar.gov/the right seat and know for sure. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a trusted life coach, Nancy will help you overcome setbacks and embrace all life has to offer. Call in with questions live at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Hello, everyone. I'm Nancy Solari, and this is the Living Full Out Show. And today we are talking about investing. We're talking about where to put that energy and time and money and all that, how to flourish in all areas of our lives, how to invest in ourselves, our careers, and so forth. And today we're actually joined by Hector Picard, who was sharing with us about his story. When he was 26 years old, he was actually in an accident where 13,000 volts of energy went through his body and actually ended up having to amputate his arms due to that accident. But Hector, with his determination, he didn't give up. He actually went on to compete in triathlons, and he was just sharing with us about that. So I want to bring Hector back into the call here. Thank you so much for joining us, Hector.
It's an honor to be here.
Yeah, I want to go back to, you're telling us about the triathlons and how you would do that. I think, first of all, this is where everybody earlier, I said he's kind of a wow person. First of all, wow. The fact that you would be swimming on your back and to be competitive with all the other swimmers, the fact that you would build out your bike to be able to do everything that one would need without arms, it's all just amazing to me. And first of all, let's just say building at your bike. Was that something that you knew how to do? How did that even come about?
Well, before the accident, ironically, I was handy. I like working with my hands, and so I knew how to create things. So I looked at the bike, and I looked at what I have available, and I put it together. I was able to move the brakes. I was able to add things to the bike, and the original bike wasn't the prettiest bike to look at, but with those ideas, they were able to modify a nicer bike, and then there are other athletes around the world that are using my design. So it's pretty cool.
That is amazing. Now, were you only competing against other people who maybe had other disabilities of different kinds, or were you competing with fully able-bodied people as well?
I would say the majority of the races that I compete in, I'm the only physically challenged athlete. Usually surrounded by able-bodied.
And how do you stack up in terms of your competition, in terms of, how you come out at the end?
In the shorter distances, about the 50 percentile. In the longer races, I'll be towards the bottom, 80 or 90, because the longer the race, it's more wear and tear on my remaining body parts.
But even 50%, Hector, that's outrageous. That's amazing. Yeah. And so I will continue to say that you're my wow guy throughout this show, because I really find that to be just amazing in just the fact that you took a challenge, you took the challenge on, and you went on to do something you hadn't done before, the triathlons. Really amazing. One thing I want to go back to, you had talked about your divorce, and I'm sorry because I'm sure that was a very painful process, but one of the things that you had shared with me in a previous conversation, which I think is really relevant and important, is, your ex-wife, she didn't think that you would be able to find anybody else, right?
Yeah, almost 20 years of marriage, and she decided, I always tell people, she decided to do the wrong thing, not once, not twice, but 3 times. And she basically thought I was stuck. I had no other choice. I took that as a challenge. You know what? I'm not going to let another person dictate how happy my life is going to be. And I wasn't happy with her. So, I left, and I started going dating, which I wasn't looking forward to. But thanks to Match.com or online dating, I was able to meet my wife now, or Wendy, who is fantastic and great support and the love of my life.
Well, and I want to go there now as well, because, for example, when I started dating I did Match.com. I did a couple of these at one point. I too had to have the conversation of, I'm legally blind, visually impaired. And for you had to obviously disclose at certain times about your, not having your arms. And how was that for you? Did you put that in your profile? Did you decide not to? Is that something you only shared with them on the phone?
I like to tell a story in my presentations. Early on, I just added pictures of my headshots, and I mentioned nothing in the profile. And I got my winks, and I winked back, and, I did all that. But as soon as I mentioned in conversation that I was missing both arms, those conversations stopped. And so I had to figure out how to, filter that out and meet somebody. So I went ahead and added pictures of myself shirtless in triathlons, and I added one more line to my profile. The last one read, "And by the way, I'm a double arm amputee." So, that was my way to filter it out, and I was successful with it. So it worked out well.
So your wife, when she saw you on Match.com, did she read that last line? Did she see the photos and say, you know what, he's just charming and good looking, I'm going to go at them anyway? Or what was her resolve there? She
didn't see any. She looked at the pictures but didn't see them all, and then she didn't read the whole thing. So we started talking, and as soon as I mentioned it, she'll tell you that to this day that she had to step back and pray and soul search before she decided on going on that first date. And I tell her it was the best decision she ever made, because we hit it off. Our conversation was good, and she was able to look beyond that. And then she realized, I end up doing probably more than most men, around the house, to provide, it hasn't stopped me from being who I am. I look a little bit different without the arms, but other than that, I'm the same guy. I'm the same person I was before.
Exactly. I get a lot of clients who, I don't know, they really, really feel bad about themselves. Maybe they're overweight. Maybe they're losing their vision. Maybe, they too, have a missing an arm, maybe they can't walk. There could be a ton of reasons. Maybe they're financially strapped and they don't have money, and there's a million reasons for why people can get in their own way. But you didn't get in your own way. You always kept walking forward, which I think is amazing. But what advice do you have to those who stop investing in themselves?
My advice to people all the time is be happy with yourself. Find happiness with yourself. I always had a smile on my face. When I was going through the rough times, not so much. But as soon as I had a goal, I'm always going to be smiling because I am happy. And people see that. My wife was able to see that. There were other people that saw that and were able to look beyond my disability, because the smile just overshadows everything else. I'm truly happy, and that's the important thing. Find happiness. Whatever it is, reading a book, going to the park, find something that makes you happy and go all out with it. And that's what I do.
I can't even imagine you being in a place where you're depressed or sad, but I know that there were those moments, but you're so positive that I can't imagine. But for our viewers, our listeners that are in that funky place, that are depressed, that are feeling hopeless, what survival skills did you turn to back in the day when you had to start over and ante up again?
I just, when they say baby steps, the way I see baby steps is find little, in my case, I find a little task that's difficult, but something that I can overcome. I overcome that, then I go to something a little tougher. And that's how I get my confidence back, and that's how I'm happy, because I'm just trying to bombard myself with positive things. And, overcoming difficult situations is a very positive thing, and it just energizes me. I'd say the same. Just focus, be patient, and things will turn around. That moment where I found out my ex-wife was having an affair on me, I look back on it now, it was the best thing that ever happened to me. The best.
And how funny that she thought that you would never find anyone better than her. And then here comes Wendy. Also, like for me, my disability, being visually impaired, legally blind, it's not one that people see. But yours is one that people see. What has your experience been over the years here with people either being discriminatory or, that maybe asking inappropriate questions or not asking questions? What has been your experience there?
It's very visual. I mean, yeah, you're going to spot me a mile away, and all eyes are on me. I try to see, okay, well, how can I turn that into a positive for me or for my causes, and that's what I do. When I do these races for children with disabilities, the idea is to focus on, look at me, look what I'm doing, but then direct the attention in the direction that I want them to go. And so I'm using it in my favor. Early on, going to the store and having kids just stare at me, or at the beach. For years, I would wear a shirt and go to the beach, and kids are looking at me, and they can't stop looking at me. I said, you know what? Let me just try something. I went shirtless. They looked at me once. They turned around. They were done. The curiosity over. Now I can enjoy myself. So it's known. I don't hide it right off the bat. Don't wear long sleeve shirts. It's too hot down here. I don't want to hide the prosthetic arm. It's so be it. Take it or leave it. This is who I am. If you don't like it, then go away. I'll find somebody else that will accept me for who I am. And
everyone listen to that.
And everything.
Yeah, listen to that advice, everyone. That's good advice, because we're all going to have something that we're ashamed of, something that we just want to keep inside because we feel like if people know about it, they're going to judge us. And those are those internal things that people can't see. But for the physical, when you're out there, just live your life, be you. And again, Hector, you're a perfect example of that. I really want to thank you so much for coming on today and sharing with us your story. And you're doing great things, and I appreciate your time today.
I thank you for having me. And if people want to support the charity I'm working for this year, it's bcckids.org. And I'm dedicating 25 triathlons, each one to a different child with disabilities, and giving them the medals that I in races. So it's going to be a great year.
I love that. Thank you so much, Hector. And everybody else will be coming right back after this break, again, taking your calls. And we'll be back. Thank you, Hector Picard.
Thank you, Nancy. Bye.
Have a great day. Bye-bye.
You too.
Hey, Dad.
Yeah.
You remember that ball game we went to a couple years ago?
Sure.
And how you didn't have enough cash for 2 hot dogs, so you walked with me on your shoulders until we found an ATM? And then when we got back to our seats, we never saw the hot dog guy again.
Well, I don't remember all that.
Yeah, that was an awesome game.
You never know which moments will be the ones they'll remember forever, so take time to be a dad today. Learn more at 1-877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov.
Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Medical mistakes claim tens of thousands of lives every year. The healthcare community is working on it, but you can help. When you communicate with your doctor, when you ask more questions, you reduce your risk of suffering a medical mistake. Doctors can't answer if you don't ask. Help reduce your risk. Questions are the answer. Learn the 10 questions you must ask. Visit www.ahrq.gov. This message brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, the Agency for Healthcare Research and Quality, and the Ad Council.
I'm getting a catcher's mitt.
I'm getting ice skates. I'm getting a devastating flood.
Adults are generous. We're even giving kids global warming, but we can still reduce greenhouse gas pollution. Go to fightglobalwarming.com. Brought to you by Environmental Defense, the Robertson Foundation, and the Ad Council.
There are many sounds in your daily life. Ones that make you smile. Ones that help you relax. And there are some sounds that can help save lives. Wireless emergency alerts, now on many mobile devices, use a unique sound and vibration to bring you critical information about emergencies in your area. With updates from local sources you know and trust, you can be in the know wherever you are. Learn more at ready.gov/alerts. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
The odds of this Alaskan-born pitcher being selected to the Major League Baseball All-Star Game 6 times? 1 in 48 million. The odds of this fast-balling philanthropist winning the World Series 3 times? 1 in 3 million. The odds of this man having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 110. Hi, I'm Kurt Schilling. Learn the signs of autism at autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
It's time to invest in yourself. It's time to find where it is in your life that you want to grow, expand, and flourish. And remember, it's about balance, knowing that you have the ability to deposit your energy, your time, your money where you want to be fruitful, where you want to grow. And so it's never too late to live your life full out by investing in yourself.
You're listening to Living Full Out with Nancy Solari. As a certified life coach, Nancy can help you to overcome challenges and start living full out. Call in with questions live at 800-333-0001. Once again, that's 800-333-0001. And now, here's Nancy.
Welcome back to the Living Full Out Show. I am Nancy Solari, and today we are talking about investing in our lives, investing in our relationships, our careers, our hobbies. You know, it's so easy to get so busy with career and school and family and all the things that really distract us from living the life we want. You know, you want to wake up every day excited. Now, granted, I know there's going to be the mundane, the things that we don't want to do in every given day, paying bills, maybe it's part of your job, whatever that may be. But even that is investing in you. Even the mundane is investing in your skills of staying sharp, staying alert, being active, always thinking. So you want to look at everything that you do every day as, how can I take this opportunity? How can I take this time and make the most out of it? Really maximize that potential to invest further in yourself. For myself, I'm a big fan of to-do lists. I love them. I do. Now, granted, I don't get to everything, but I like it because it gives me direction. And what I will actually do, I know it sounds a little quirky, but I will take an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. I'll fold it almost like a book. And with each square, I will put a to-do list for different areas of my life. I will have a part for my career and all the things that I want to do to help advance that. Then I'll take another small section of that paper and I'll write, workout or nutrition, all the things that I want to do there. Maybe I want to try some new recipes. Maybe I want to try a different workout. Maybe I want to see if I can join a gym or at least have a trial period at a gym to try something new like boxing or yoga or Pilates. Or I'll take another section and I'll put it friends and family, and I'll put down, things I want to do with people when I want to do them. It's about really putting priority into your life. The more you invest into your life, the more you're going to get out of it. That's just how it goes. And we know that. We all know that, because when you take time, let's say you're studying for a test and you put a lot of time in, you usually do really well or pretty good, right? Same goes with a relationship. When you're investing in the other person and you're spending quality time with them, or you're asking them about their day or being of service to them, usually both people are pretty happy. So it's about figuring out today in your life, what part of your life is lacking? What part of your life needs that extra love, that little TLC, so you can boost it up? For me, I will tell you, I need to work out, especially when I hear Hector Picard talk and how he's doing these triathlons. I'm like, okay, Nancy, that's it. Today you're working out. And I might do it, I might not. But it's a commitment thing, right? When we invest in something, we're committed to it. We want it to work out. So I am right there with all of you that we just have to figure out where we want to put our attention and go for it. Now, if today during the show you come up with a plan of action, you were inspired, you decided, I'm going to invest in this part of my life, and this is what I'm going to do to get there, I'd love for you to share that with me. And feel free to connect with us. The email address again to reach us is connect@livingfullout.com. We love hearing your success stories. And just like Hector Picard, if you have a inspirational story that you feel would be a benefit to our community, let us know. We'd love to hear from you. One of the things about investing in life is that it's important to put some time and measure to it. So if you're going to have a weight goal, let's say a nutrition goal, put time to that. Don't just leave it empty-handed. Don't leave it without any parameters. Say, I'm going to do this by end of the week. I'm going to do this by end of the month. I want to be at a certain place by end of the year. Because when you can put time frames around a goal, when you can see where you're investing your time, like benchmarks, because some points of a goal might be financially necessary, some might be time necessary, in other ways you might need to ask for help. So when you're investing in areas of your life, you have to decide, what do I need? I might need money, I might need extra time, I might need support. That's all part of it. So we're going to go back to the phone lines now and check in with one of our callers. Hello, welcome to the Living Full Out Show.
Hello, how are you doing, Nancy?
I am doing great. Thank you for calling in. What's going on today?
I'm calling you because I have somewhat of a dilemma, and I'm hoping you can provide me with some sort of advice, suggestions that could help me make a decision to get over this problem I have. I'm a 57-year-old man who desires to have children of his own. I've always loved children, but unfortunately, due to choices I made in life, I've never had any of my own. And so lately, I've really been giving it a lot of consideration. Even though I'm 57 years old, I'm in really good shape because I've been physically active all my life, so I'm capable of bringing children into the world. But unfortunately, the woman that I'm in a relationship with is beyond her childbearing years. And so I've been contemplating whether I should possibly end this relationship and pursue one with a woman who's in her childbearing years, or maybe consider adoption. And at the same time, while I'm having those emotions, I'm also wondering if maybe it's a bad idea to bring children into the world at such a late stage in my life. So I would just like to get your opinion on this overall situation if I could.
Well, there is a lot going on there, so we'll just nip away at it a little bit at a time, okay? So first of all, how long have you been dating your current girlfriend?
Approximately a year.
About a year, okay.
About a year.
And is she somebody that you can see yourself living without?
No, not really.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very fond of her, and I care about her a great deal. Mm-hmm. And so I can't really see myself being without her, but I really want the children too. So it's kind of it's kind of very complicated situation.
Well, and so this is where the parenting starts. The parenting starts even with yourself. So just as you would parent your children to teach people with respect and love and don't discard people unless it's unless they do something wrong by you. You want to parent yourself in the same way. Okay? Correct. So remember that when we have children, first of all, there's no guarantees. Sometimes people can never get pregnant. Even if she's right in the prime of her life, she may not be able to get pregnant. You may disregard the current girlfriend, start dating somebody else who you think is in the prime of her life, but she may not be able to get pregnant just because. Or she may miscarry. Or you might go on to have children that are healthy, or maybe they're not healthy. Maybe they have other challenges, or maybe they are healthy, but there's a lot of children that aren't really good to their parents. There's a lot of children that you can't guarantee what that future would look like. But what you do have control over is the here and the now.
Right. You're saying children that might be very needy.
Well, I'm just saying there's a lot of good kids out there, really good kids, and I think a lot of times, and I'm not discouraging anyone not to have kids because it could be a positive, beautiful experience, but also we have to be open to the fact that, someone who's in childbearing years might not be able to have children, or if you do have children, the vision of what that looks like may not be what is realistic.
I see. Yeah.
Okay. So your desire to have children is a valid one, and the beauty about children is they can come into our lives in a lot of different ways. You could have your own children. You really could. But again, even if you stop dating your current girlfriend and go on to someone who is in childbearing years, there's no guarantee that she could get pregnant right away, maybe at all. There might be miscarriages. Who knows? The other thing is love is a precious gift. And so if the person you're with now is someone that you do love, someone that you don't think you could see your life without, that is something that doesn't come around all the time. And again, you might be trading off a future desire for something that's really special in the now.
And I agree with that because I do feel that she's a soulmate. Her and I have connected in a very good way, and it's a very loving and affectionate relationship. So you're absolutely correct.
Does she want children? I mean, if she could, would she?
Well, she often has said if she could have my child, she wish she could. But unfortunately.
So here's what we have. We have two people that love each other. We have two people that love kids. I think that screams adoption. That screams becoming a foster parent. That screams getting involved with children, organizations, nonprofits, being of support to children there. I mean, your life will not be without children. You just got to get creative. And the last thing I'll say is I don't think it's ever too late, because personally, you sound like a great person, and any child would be lucky to be influenced by you.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But I think what you said is probably the best route to go for me and my mate to adopt and involve ourselves in activities where we can come in contact with children who are in need in one way or another, and can have them in our lives in that sense. And even though they're not ours per se, they would be ours in the sense that we can enjoy their company and vice versa. And build relationships. Build meaningful relationships.
Absolutely. And what a fun adventure to do together. And then everybody wins. You win, you got the girl, you got the kiddos, everybody wins. Yeah. But yes, I really appreciate you calling in. I really appreciate you calling in. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And I thank you for being so creative in your answer, because many of the things you said I thought about, abandoning a relationship that is meaningful for something that I foresee. And you're absolutely right that my idea of what it would be like to have my own children and the reality of it may be totally two different things. And so I just needed that feedback, and it's been very helpful, because I think I know what I need to do.
Well, absolutely. And the great thing is the answers were always inside you. We just had to talk it out. But thank you so much for calling in. I really appreciate it. And as we wrap up today's show, everybody, I want to thank everybody listening. And it's about investing. Let's do it. Let's live our life full out.